Ladies and gentlemen, get ready to be entertained, enlightened, and educated about men's secrets, and dating advices decoded as we dive into another episode of Men's Secrets Exposed podcast and show. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to a new show of Men's Secrets Exposed podcast. I am your host, comedy magician Dewayne Hill. I perform all over the country for various special events. Be sure to check out all my social media handles, tags, and all that other fun stuff. Have a co-host, Mel, coming back, male point of view for this show, Mr. Steve. Steven, say what's up.
Hi, everybody. How's it going?
All right, Steven, first-time listeners, people that are consuming you for the first time, give them a little background about yourself and who you are, what you do, that kind of thing.
I'm a local performer in the Tampa Bay area. I've been doing it for about 20 years. I'm also a voice work actor. I've done a couple of audiobooks. I'm actually waiting to release a second audiobook in June. It'll be called Pillars of Hercules.
All right, we'll put some stuff, linkage down below so that way you can check him out also. We always want to jump right into it, get as many questions answered as possible. Ladies, gentlemen, especially ladies, if you have questions, call them in, 813-534-0169. Text in your question, 813-534-0169. We will get your questions answered as quick as possible. Add them to our lineup. We'll play your voicemail maybe over the air. We might even reach out to you directly and see if you actually want to participate in the next recording. So reach out to us, 813-534-0169. Here we go. First question. There are lots of girls out there in this day and age of next best thing around the corner. How can a lady make a man choose her?
How can a lady make a man choose her? Let's see.
Yes. I guess they're asking from the point of view of, all these options that, people have, not just men, but people have. What can women do for that man that has so many options, make him choose her?
Well, you got to understand that it's also a two-way street, too. You've got to go about halfway to meet the man who should be going halfway to meet you. If you're going 100% of the way to meet a man or go over to his side, then he's not really having to do that much to get you back and get your attention. So you really have to be careful about doing that. He needs to work a little bit to get on your side. That's what I'm saying. He needs to bridge the gap the entire way too. But there does need to be a little bit of a meeting in the center, as it were. As for, how to get a man to choose you, well, there's a couple different ways and a couple different ideas on to what you want out of a relationship, as it is. If you want a man to choose you just for sex, well, that's pretty simple. You just put down that you're just interested in sex, and you're going to get loads of men that just want to be involved in that. But when it comes down to it is if you want a man to actually pick a relationship with you, that takes a little bit more effort, and it unfortunately takes a little bit of realistic viewpoint that you're not going to get everybody that comes across. There's going to be some men that are initially interested, and there are going to be some that no matter how far you try to throw that fishing line in, they're just not going to bite.
Yeah. I'm going to keep my answer to this pretty simple, ladies. Be yourself. Just be yourself. Because here's the thing. This is another question that kind of goes, what makes men afraid of commitment? One thing that men are deathly afraid of is what we look at and what we're about to buy isn't what we're really going to get. So, falling into that trap of hiding your flaws, hiding your baggage, not being too vulnerable, not showing certain insecurities because you're putting your best foot forward. And I mean, we can all be guilty of that on a first date, or when we, our dating profiles are out there. You don't have to do a laundry list of everything that's wrong with you, but be just your authentic self. And I'm of the belief, I think it would save a lot of people a lot of headaches and a lot of issues if, you're on that second date or third date, or maybe I even say the first date. Ladies, if you know certain deal breakers you have, I would, I know women we had this conversation with I think it was Elle, the female podcast host. She thought that men might consider that to be off-putting. And let me tell you, from a man's point of view, it would be very refreshing if a woman said on the first date and said, "Look, you know what? I got 5 things that are just non-negotiable deal breakers for me," and you just said it. Because men hate guesswork. We hate reading between the lines. We hate wondering, is that really what you meant when you said that, or did you mean something else? So if you're just 100% transparent and it's just like, look, hey, I'm not cool with this, I'm not cool with that, I'm not cool with this, I'm not cool with this, and you just said that, I know knee-jerk reaction, ladies, you might think that might be off-putting to a man, but most men would find that extremely refreshing. It's like, oh, cool. Now,
it's refreshing,
by the same token,
it's refreshing, but you got to be careful how you do it too. If the first thing that you're saying when you sit down with your date on the first date, and you sit down and before you even order drinks, it's you give off the laundry list of the things that you hate, then he's going to get the wrong idea.
I mean, he might interpret that as, okay, you're a little demanding, okay, but I really do think, and here's how you can do this. Let me give you how you can do this. If you want to have this conversation, ladies, just ask him first. Say, hey, look, Steve, do you have deal breakers? And if they are your deal breakers, what are they? Now, what a man will do, just because we're programmed that way, if he gave his list and he said, yeah, these are a couple things I'm not really cool with, by nature, he's going to ask you back and say, what are yours? Mm-hmm. Now that door's open. And now you can say what they are. And at that point, believe it or not, before the chips and salsa hit the table, you can pretty much decide, hey, look, okay, this ain't going to work. And that would just save you so much time. And unfortunately, we guys get in a situation and there's always this, what is she not showing me? What is she not saying? Am I seeing everything I need to see? And, you get into a relationship and then later, 6 months or 7 months, you start finding out some things that really get on her nerves that you didn't know got on her nerves until you're 6 months in. And now you got to think about it. So what can make him choose you? Just be honest, be upfront.
Be yourself.
And just be yourself.
Be comfortable with who you are as well.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean overly confident and narcissistic necessarily and ego-driven, but just be comfortable with who you are. And if he doesn't want you, well then, oh well. Like they say, there are plenty of fish in the ocean.
He's just, as they say, he's not the fit.
Yeah.
He's not the fit for you. So, and there's nothing wrong with that. He's just not the fit. Trust me, you'll end up saving yourself a bunch of headache and heartache and aggravation later because you're trying to make a
lifelong connection.
Or you're trying to fit a square into a round hole.
It's not going to happen.
And it's just, it looks like it could, but no, it's just not going to quite fit there. It'll go in, but it won't fit. All right, so the next question, lady asked, sometimes I can be a bit moody. Is that annoying for men to deal with it?
It depends on what she means by moody. I know with my wife gets moody sometimes, but my wife is able to communicate with me about the fact that she's moody, either because of something that I've done or something I'm doing, or if it's something outside of my sphere of influence. If she's moody and she's able to say, I'm just moody because I had a bad day at work, then I'm able to really interact with her. I'm able to maybe rub her back, go get her some tea, try and find a way to make her feel less moody or trying to improve her mood. If it's something that I did, then it becomes a question of, okay, do I need to delve any further into this conversation? Is it something that I did that I should apologize for? And if it's something that I did that I should apologize for, do I think I need to apologize for it? That becomes a larger conversation. But right off the bat, if your man knows that you're moody because of something outside of him and not him, then he's a lot better about feeling about he will handle that wave or that roller coaster a lot easier. Because ladies, if we think that you're moody because of us, we're now walking on eggshells for the rest of the day and probably the next few days. Because the last thing we want to do is, if you're moody with us, that we do something else. And if you're moody because of us and we don't know why you're moody, then we don't want to do anything to make you even more upset at us, which is why we'll back off a majority of the time and just go do our own thing. But if we know that it's...
And here's the thing.
But
go ahead. I want to say this. Let me say this. I'm going to put this question out because I want an answer to this. I'm going to put this out, and I want an answer to this. The question that I would have, and I'm representing the male team here when I ask this question, I want to ask the question, ladies, when you're moody, what do you want us to do? Mm-hmm. Because male brain, you're in a bad mood. What men tend to do is we want to leave each other alone.
Yes.
Let them figure it out. Let them stew about it. Let them process it. And when they're ready to talk about it, they'll go talk about it. And that's what the male brain tends to default. And it seems like that annoys women. It's like you want us to be around you, but when we feel like we might... Hey, guys, thanks again. This is a quick little mention, little plug. If you are enjoying this, and I hope that you are, number one, a new book of mine is coming out in 2019, Handful of Queens, coming out in 2019. You'll be able to check that out. It's a kind of a action, suspense, romance. Hope you all enjoy it. But more importantly, if you're enjoying the podcast and the other things we have going on Magic DTV, please write to Netflix, Hulu, Amazon, or Apple and let them know that you are enjoying the content and the shows that we are creating and short films we're putting out. That's Netflix, Hulu, Amazon, or Apple. Any one of those four. Let them know that you're really digging what we have and that you'd like to see what we're doing on one of their platforms. Please put that out to Netflix, Hulu, Amazon, or Apple. Thank you all very much. Bye. Be causing the issue. We want to go in problem-solving mode, and we want to remove the issue. So the question that I'm going to ask, question of the day, whatever you want to call it, I'm going to put this out on the socials. I want ladies to chime in, and I want you to answer this. When you are being moody, what do you want us to do? What do you want us to do? Now, I will also say this too, men that are listening. Men, fellas, brothers, bros, my dogs. You need to educate yourself and increase your personal understanding if you start to catch that your woman is moody. Because you should be able to almost decipher what's going on. You know, are you noticing a trend that whenever she talks to her mom, she gets off the phone and she's moody the next couple hours? Well, that ain't got nothing to do with you. It's how her mom is making her feel. Or when she talks to her sister, and her sister is doing the thing where they're comparing lives, and the sister is giving off the vibe that the sister has a better life than she does, and she's moody for the next couple hours, it's the sister, it may not be you. Or it could be if she told you, or she asked you, or you all mutually agreed you were going to clean the garage last Saturday, and you didn't clean the garage last Saturday.
And now you know why she's moody.
Yeah. So you need, fellas, you need to take time to, and I'm going to brag on myself here a little bit. Okay, brag on myself here. If I start catching that my girl's moody, I start looking at what's happened in the course of her day, and normally about 80% of the time I can pinpoint what's happened. I say, okay, I'll say, okay, so you're mad about this, or this. You know, she'll tell me, yeah. I'll say, okay. And now listen. So you got to take time to educate yourself. Otherwise, you're going to always be playing that guessing game. What did I do wrong? What was it mean? What did I do? What did I mess up on? What did I forget? What did I not say? You know, is it a special day that I forgot about? Nah, man, don't get into all that. Take time to educate yourselves. And let me say this, ladies. Ladies, I know you want men to be mind readers sometimes, but please, if you know that you're if you know that you're angry about something, and you know, and Stacy made you mad at work, and now you're mad because Stacy made you mad, or Stacy did something catty to make you mad, just be upfront. Instead of coming home and slamming cabinets and, you know, and not being talkative, just say, hey, look, Stacy pissed me off today. Okay. Now the guy can sit back, relax, and say, cool, what happened? And he hopefully will listen and not try to fix it. Hopefully.
And that's that whole women are from Venus and men are from Mars type of mentality. That women, you have to understand that men are fixers. It's in our DNA to want to fix something. And women don't want, men who are listening, women don't want us to fix anything. They just want to get it off their chest and talk about it. So if your woman is talking to you about what's going on, your job is to sit there and listen to her. It's not to try and fix it. She knows how to fix the problem. That's not what she's upset about. Sometimes she just can't fix the problem.
Yeah, no question. All right, so next question we have, which is similar. It's funny how these kind of come in. It's similar how this is because this kind of goes into the first question a little bit. The question is, if I'm your girlfriend, I mean, it's almost the same question. I'll ask it anyway. The question is, if I'm your girlfriend, why do you like me?
If that again, this is a type of generalized statement that goes to individuals. It's why do you, well, it might be because I'm a big comic book freak. It might be because my wife is totally into comic books too, and we can sit there and talk about Spider-Man and Captain America and and Batman and have those conversations and have them go on for hours, and she's not sick of me for talking about it.
I'm curious, Steve, is she into comic books like that?
She kind of is ever since we started dating and got married. She goes to all the Marvel movies with me. We're going to go see Avengers, the new Avengers that comes out on Friday. We're going to see that. And if I go and see any of those things without her, she gets really upset. Really upset.
It's almost in that category. It's in that category you kind of cheated on.
Yes, exactly. I remember when Daredevil first came out on Netflix, and she wanted to watch it with me, and I ended up sneaking an episode while she was at work.
Oh no!
And she came home because I thought that because I thought that she was done watching it because of her attitude about the last one. She came home and she was so upset about the fact that I watched an episode without her.
Brother, you at least gotta ask.
Yeah, and that's where it comes into. Oh, okay, I didn't know. So.
Yeah. Now you just stumbled into a landmine. No. You gotta say, you gotta ask.
That's honestly a question that is an individual question that you have to ask your own partner, though. What is it that you like about me? I love my wife's eyes. I love her smile. She's got the greatest smile in the world. I love the fact that she can talk comic books with me nonstop. Her generosity. There's just so many things that come into play. Now, what you got to be careful about is if they start complimenting you on only physical features, because you're going to change. It's like, oh, baby, I like your breasts, and I like your butt, and I like your hips, and all that. All of that stuff's going to change, including with the guys. We're going to change physically as well. So, but the things emotionally and mentally about us, those don't change. Who we are personality-wise, those really don't change that much. So if you're able to say, I like your laugh, okay, that's something that's not really going to change. I like the way that you're generous. Okay, I like your hard work ethic. That's stuff that doesn't change. So,
well, I want to put this out as opposed to, and this is funny that ladies are asking this question. Ladies, ask this question instead. The question you should ask, this goes back to what we said in another podcast show, if you have the guts or the balls to actually do this. Do you have the balls to look at your significant other and say, what do you not like about me? As opposed to, and it doesn't have to be a doorway to an argument. It doesn't have to be a doorway that you have to, grab your sword and defend your honor. It's just, if you can, ask that question. What is it about me that you don't like? And if the man
is brave enough to answer that, and not go,
if he chooses to actually answer that question, understand that it's not a personal attack. It doesn't mean he doesn't like you. It doesn't mean he's settling. It doesn't mean, he's dealing with you. And it doesn't mean he's not into the relationship as much as you are.
It's that.
But if you open this, if you open this door, and let's just say in Fantasyland, let's say if there's 10,000 listeners to this, Steve, and let's say 200 women actually ask this question to their significant other, there's going to probably be about 20 or 30 people that's going to respond with, some kind of story, which is going to be interesting. If you do that, ladies, and you ask that, so I'm just curious. Here's a better way you can do it, as opposed to asking him, what do you not like about me? You can say, is there anything that I do that extremely gets on your nerves? Or what about me really gets on your nerves? Maybe that will soften it to where and I'm thinking about this, framing this, because if the man is brutally honest, hopefully he has a little bit more common sense than not to be that brutally honest. If he does venture in the wild side and he answers that question, I'm thinking about how a woman can interpret that and think, okay, he's attacking her, right? Or he's picking her apart, or he's criticizing her and all that. So I'm trying to avoid this potential casualty on either side here.
And understand that some guys might look into that as well and think that you're immediately you're bridging this gap so that you can come back with him on the same thing. That if you're sitting down with him, you're saying, well, what is it about me that really annoys you? He's thinking in his mind, oh, great, I'm doing something that annoys her, and she wants to try and find a way to bridge the gap to say, well, you don't put the toilet seat back down when you're done,
Yeah.
Or something.
So if this conversation happens, and I'm just saying this now, defending the male team men, team testosterone, okay? If he answers it, if he ventures and he's brave enough to venture into this water and answer this question, ladies, it's not a personal attack. And I know the difference in the male-female brain. Men have our boxes and our compartments, and the answer is independent, and it doesn't affect the other things in the other boxes. And I know women's brain is the answer affects everything else, but it doesn't in the male brain. And again, I'm explaining, I'm not justifying, I'm just explaining the differences in Mac operating system versus PC operating system. This is just Mac code. We can separate the answer and not be a personal attack against you.
Here's the two things about that to remember. Number one, don't ask that question if you are not totally ready and willing to hear the answer. That's number one. Number two, we're all searching for perfection in our mates. All of us. And we're not going to find it, period. So we have to make compromises in what we're looking for in our relationships and how we're going to connect with people. There are some things that we find, and it's a weighing balance to find somebody that has more of the pros and less of the cons than you're looking for in a relationship. We're trying to balance that out. And there are going to be some things that you do that your mate is not going to be happy about, and vice versa. But the idea is that they're trying to weigh it in that they like you more than they dislike you. And so if they're with you, more than likely, the dislikes that you have don't outweigh the likes.
100%. So that's it. Try to take it from that, as opposed to wondering, why does he like me? Why is he with me when he could be with other women and all that other stuff? If he's with you, there's obviously something about you that he enjoys, he wants to be around, because, to men's credit, if he's really not into you, he ain't gonna be around.
Yeah, he's
going to find excuses. He's going to find excuses to be away. He's not going to talk to you. He doesn't want to see you every day. He's going to want to do other stuff. But if he's around you that much, then that means he genuinely enjoys being around you. So think about that. We're going to wrap this episode. I want to thank all of you for listening in. If you got a question, call it in 813-534-0169, 813-534-0169. Text in your question, call it in, leave a voicemail. We will play it. We might reach back out to you, see if you want to participate in one of the recordings. So that way you can ask in real time and actually hear actual feedback from both of us or me or the other co-hosts at the same time. It's 813-534-0169. Check us out on YouTube, Magic D TV. Check us out on Facebook, Magic D TV, or go to any of the search bars on Facebook, Instagram, or YouTube and type in Men's Secrets Podcast. We should come up all over the place. We want to thank all of you for listening. Hope you got something out of it. Please rate us, subscribe, review, pass along to your friends, let them know. And again, please keep your questions coming in. Your questions is what fuels this, and we're able to get into this and hopefully get less arguments. That's all this is about, less arguments. Ladies, you understand men a little bit more. There's less arguments. Men, we're trying to help out the male team, so there's less arguments, and men can be a little bit happier and be cool and not have to defend themselves all the time. So that's it in a nutshell. Mr. Steve, anything else you want to chime in on or sign off on?
Happy hunting, everybody.
Happy hunting. That's it. All right. Enjoy the rest of your week. Thank you for listening, and goodbye.